All right, we're looking at a given function. F of x equals 1 over x plus 2. Find the average rate of change of f of x on the interval of 5 to 5 plus h. And it says your answers will be an expression involving h. So in other words, we should have h's in our answer instead of x's. So we're given a function and an interval, and we're asked to find the average rate of change, which remember this is function notation, but this is our y2 y1 over x2 minus x1, which is a slope. Remember, we're finding the average rate of change of a curve using a secant line between two x values. Okay, so that's what we're finding. So we need to find f of x sub 2 and f of x sub 1 and plug in our values. And this is my x sub 1 and x sub 2. Remember, this is an interval of our domain. That's what we're putting in. So that's an interval. So f of x sub 1 is, or x sub 1 is 5, and then x sub 2 is 5 plus h. That's what's in our denominator. The numerator, well, I need to find out what is f of x sub 2. Well, x sub 2 is 5 plus h, so I'm looking at f of 5 plus h over, so that's going to be 1 over, wherever I have an x, I'm putting 5 plus h. Okay. And then simplify that. I get 1 over 5 plus 2 is 7 plus h. So that is my f of x sub 2, which is going to go here. So 1 over 7 plus h minus, I need to find out what is f of x sub 1. And this time I'm going to put a 5 in, wherever I have an x. So it's 1 over 5 plus 2, which is 1 over 7. 1/7. All right, now let's simplify this here. Well, on the bottom, 5 minus 5 is 0. So let's go ahead and do that. That's just going to be h. On the top, however, I have 1 over 7 plus h minus 1 over 7. And then we want to try to get rid of the denominator or get a common denominator. Really, if we can get a common denominator, that would help. So our common denominator is going to be 7 plus h times 7. So I'm looking at 7 times 7 plus h. Okay, just like when you subtract or add fractions, you need a common denominator. So since our common denominator is 7 plus h, so in order to get 7 times 7 plus h here, I have to multiply top and bottom by 7. 7 times 1 is 7. Minus, and then over here I have a 7, but I need a 7 plus h. So I'm going to multiply that times 1. Okay, so we still have a complex fraction, which looks pretty ugly. But really it's not too bad, and you'll see here in a minute, if you believe me. Okay, so 7 minus 7 minus h. 7 minus 7 minus h all over 7 times 7 plus h over h. Okay, 7 minus 7 is 0. So I'm going to have negative h over 7 plus h all over h. And then I still have a fraction divided by a fraction. Think of that as h over 1. And so we actually multiply by the reciprocal here. So let me see if I can slide this up just a little bit so we have a little more room. Focus. All right. So let me come over here a little bit. So I have negative h over 7 times 7 plus h times, and again, think of that as h over 1. So we're dividing, so we're going to multiply that by the reciprocal. So we flip it. These cancel. And so it looks like I have negative 1 over 7 times 7 plus h for our answer. And the only other thing we could do here, we can distribute that 7. So negative 149 plus 7h for our final answer.